All right, so welcome back to the Nonstop Podcast, and I am Erica. I am here with one of my coworkers, the lovely Debbie Cakes. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and have her introduce herself to you guys, and then we're gonna get started into the fun stuff. All right, Debbie.
Hi, hello everyone. I'm Debbie. I've been flying for 7 going on 8 years now. I've been DC based all along. I worked international. I worked domestic. I pretty
Talk to her.
much everywhere.
I love it. So she's telling you is that she is senior and she has experience, honey. maybe not so senior. Maybe not that senior, but she's got experience.
But nothing too crazy. No medical emergencies, no evacuation, none of that.
Really? You've never had to do any of those things?
No.
Really?
I've been really lucky.
Oh, well, see, now that you said it now.
None of that.
Do you think you just jinxed it?
Yeah, probably. You just see me on me.
No, hopefully not. That's so funny though. No, I think you're gonna be good. All right, so let's get right into it. I want to ask you some questions, and I want you to be just as honest as you can with us, okay?
Okay.
All right. So first one's up. Did you have any expectations coming into this career? Why or why not? And if you did, what were they?
I mean, I worked in pretty much every job you can think. I work in sales, I work in restaurants and everything. And then growing up, I always wanted to be a flight attendant. When I was little, on my first flight, I was like, they're so beautiful. I want to be just like them. And then growing up, and then when I went to school, I went to college, and I was just like, it just never clicked to me. And I always thought that to be a flight attendant, you have to go through like flight attendant training and stuff like that. I didn't realize the airlines actually train you. So when I met a pilot, and then at my previous job at Verizon, he was like telling me about you should apply. It's really easy. You don't need no experience. So one thing led to another. I went to the open house. I got the job in 2015, and then I've been flying ever since.
Love it.
I love this job. I can't imagine doing anything else other than flying.
Oh, see, now that was actually one of my questions. I was going to ask you, do you ever see yourself in another career? But I guess that's a no.
I do as time, but I never hang out my wings.
Yeah.
I'm actually back in school right now. I'm actually finishing up, and then I actually do want to become accountant.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's my plan.
Awesome. So that's gonna be your part-time gig, your side hustle, if you will.
Yeah, that's the job that's gonna pay the bills. But this would be my cool job.
Okay, so that's gonna be the fun thing you do, kind of get away, go on vacations and things like that. I love it. Yeah, see, I like that. That's something I would do too. All right.
Beijing for like shopping once a month.
Oh my God. You can get anything in Beijing. Anything you want. I love it. All right. So did you actually know anybody within the aviation field before you got in?
No.
No? Okay. So it was just the pilot that you met at Verizon.
Yep, and that was it. And then
cool.
Everything has just been, I guess, I don't know, just luck.
Yeah, no, I love it. And FYI, Debbie is an amazing flight attendant. She is very thorough. She is so much fun. She's left me love notes on the plane. I just love her so much. All right, so let's get to the good stuff, shall we? So what's something that surprised you about being a flight attendant or in this field in general?
It's more so like the uncertainty of like how the flight's gonna be. Like you know where you're going, but you're not really sure how well you got click with the crew, the passengers that's gonna be on this flight and stuff like that. But everything's been good so far. I'm telling you, I've been really lucky.
I love it.
A lot of people on the plane. I had a lot of great crews. I meet a lot of like you. I met you on the plane. Like everything.
Well, it's because you're so sweet, and I think that's why. That has a lot to do with it. All right, so let's keep going. What is something that you've learned about yourself since you took this position?
Let's just say, growing up, I've always been an introvert.
Okay.
I was myself.
I don't believe that.
It changes you. Like now that I started flying, I want to like get out there. I love talking to people. I know it sounds cliche, but it sounds like I'm more like a people person now.
I think you have to be in this career. Okay, so what's the number one thing you hear when you tell people that you're a flight attendant?
Oh my God, where should I start? There was like, do you get the same layover? Do you have to pay for your hotel?
Yeah.
This, like my neighbors, cousins, uncle, stepchild, and stuff like that.
And I
But
know somebody, yeah. I love it.
so, like, in the aviation business, you really know each other, like, you start like, it's like a family. Every time
Absolutely.
a crew at the airport, you do that nod and be like, "Hey, how's it
Yeah.
going?"
Yeah. I
Yeah,
love it, especially when you have, I don't wanna say necessarily a smaller airport, but when you have a group of flight attendants that tend to fly out of the same airport, you start to get to know them, and, like, Debbie is actually one of the people that I get to know or got to know, and you start to, like, every time you see him, you're like, "Oh my god," you could see somebody somewhere. I think I've seen you in Denver or San Fran, like,
yes.
just anywhere that you are not based, or where you're based, of course. But it's just so nice to be able to see somebody when you're out and about. It just makes your day a little easier, and because it's different, I think personally, because it's not like a 9 to 5, so you don't see the exact same people every day. You don't work with the same folks every day, so seeing a familiar face out and about is always, to me, the most fun.
It was like you remember during the pandemic, like, I won't see you for, like,
Yeah,
6 months,
yeah,
and then when I
yeah,
see you, I'm like, "Oh my god, how's it been?"
yeah.
Just pick up right where we left off
And I
at.
love it. See, and that's what I'm talking about. So, we don't have the same, I think we have a stronger connection, I think, than maybe some people who work together every day, because, you can kinda get tired of your people. You're like, "Alright, I see you every day." But then, like, I feel like the heart ma what is it? Absence make the heart grow stronger or something like that? 'Cause I'm like, "Oh my god, I haven't seen you. Like, how are things?" We get to catch up. It's a lot of fun, right?
Yeah, but after a 4 day, you're like,
Oh, girl, I need my break. Yeah. Girl, Imma need some time. I'll see you in a couple months, okay? I like it. All right. So I know something about this question that I'm going to ask you, but I want you to tell the people. So, how does flying affect your dating life?
it does. I mean, I started flying when I was young, around, like, my early 20s, and,
Hmm.
like, I do notice, like, you really have to have a strong communication system and a trust system
Absolutely.
when you're dating people,
Hmm.
like, from aviation.
Hmm.
You could be gone 4 days at once, you could be gone at my airline, we were gone for 40 days at once, so you have to learn how to trust them and, like, really communicate with them.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Um,
40 days? That's a long that was yeah, that's nuts. I can't imagine.
but, I mean, it was fun, though, you got to see the world,
Of course,
you
yeah.
you got to bond with the crew, but, I mean, now that I think back on it, it's crazy to be gone for 40 days at once.
40, that's over a month. Yeah, that's nuts.
And then you will have, like, 30 days off, so, like, on
Wow.
40, off for 30, like,
Yeah. Mm.
well, yeah, so I'm
Wow.
happy where I'm at with my max 4 days.
Yeah, tell her. Talk to him. What's the, what's the most fun place that you've been so far?
Girl, you know me, I love Asia. Anything
Oh,
Asia, I love.
yeah. What's your favorite place in Asia, though?
I like Thailand.
Yeah? I actually have not been to Thailand yet.
Oh my god, you have to go.
Yeah, I'm slacking. I need to go.
It's just so magical, like, when I went, it just resets you. It's a really humbling experience, I should say.
Wow.
Like, here, we're, in the States, we're so spoiled that, like, "Oh, I have to wait for a bus," or, like, I don't know how to say it, but, like, it's just a really humbling experience. You see people, like, working hard, and they're only making I don't know, it's just you just have to experience. I don't wanna ruin it for you, you just have to experience it.
Yeah, okay. Well, I definitely wanna go to, Thailand. I feel like it's so beautiful, and there's so many. I've gone to, Hong Kong, and I've gone to Narita in Asia. And those are the only 2 places so far. But Hong Kong, I think, has to be my favorite place just in general that I've ever been. So,
Well, that's where
I
my family's from, so I'm pretty biased about it too.
of course. But no, honestly, it was, I mean, the people were so welcoming to me, and we just had, I mean, the food was good, and it was just, everything was just so nice, and I've never, you know what it is? To me, when I got there, I think it was like a culture shock, because I was going in thinking that was kind of like New York, but it's actually like New York on steroids to me.
Oh,
So, there were so many people living there. I didn't realize how, I mean, you always hear about the amount of people living in Asia, but when I actually got there and I saw it, I was like, "This is insane. New York has nothing on this." But I mean, it was so, so beautiful, especially at night when the lights start lighting up. Ah, I had so much fun. Oh my god.
yeah.
So, yes, I would agree with that.
Once COVID's over, we can have girls trip.
I need COVID to be over. But, honestly, I think COVID might be, and I know I'm talking about politics for a second, like politics and all this foolishness, but I think COVID's gonna be around for a minute. I think we're going to have to learn how to travel while still dealing with COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean,
we'll see.
give it some time. I feel like it's been 2 years since
Yeah.
it started.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything's starting to, like, slowly but surely, it's starting to go back.
Yeah. I would give that. So, how do you feel about like the services and traveling and passengers from COVID? Because I'm assuming you were laid off, not laid off, you were furloughed as well, right?
For a little bit.
Okay, yeah. So, how do you see the services and flying now versus pre-COVID?
Oh my, it's night and day.
Yeah. What are some of the changes you noticed?
Um, the food quality that we're serving, because every airline, ever since COVID, they were cutting back on, like, back then we used to have like salad, desserts, appetizer, like the full spread, even the bread and the
Yeah.
wine. Now that they've been cutting back on it, but they've been slowly trying, like, to go back to where it was, like cutting out nuts and like hot towels and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's coming along, but you gotta give it some time. American Airlines, they actually bringing back alcohol now, so
Oh, okay.
I just saw that a couple days ago, I believe.
Okay. I love it. Well, come on back. Because, I mean, clearly I enjoyed pre COVID flying, but. But it's just interesting how it changed, and I was furloughed during the whole pandemic. So it's just very interesting how quickly things change and how much they change. So I'm curious to see how quickly we can kind of get back and bounce back. So good to know though. All right. So I actually want to know, and I'm not sure about your background. I don't know that we actually talked about this part of it, but I'm curious to see what you're gonna say. So, do you want to start a family? And how do you expect to manage it if you do?
I do. You mean I talked about it and stuff like that, and then I do plan on getting married
Mhm.
soon, hopefully, and then
I was like, I better be there. I better be at that
oh, yeah,
wedding.
girl, you will.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, eventually, like, because I have worked with a lot of moms who are so, they start flying, but
Yeah.
to accommodate their schedule, they work red eye flights, so they report at what, like 7 p.m.
Ooh.
They put the kids to bed and they go
Yeah.
out to the airport and they come back in the morning and they take them to school, and that's when I can't do that. That's a
Yeah.
big no for me. Like, I love my sleep.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking, like, I mean, the good thing about this job is it's so flexible. You can work
Yeah.
as much as you want. You don't have to work
Mhm.
at all. So I mean, I'm probably just gonna work maybe like a couple of turns here and there and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But
I
I
love
think
that.
my family would be my main priority.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would agree with that. So you were kind of talking about the schedule. So I actually want to touch base on that a little bit more. So I know we've discussed line holder versus reserve previously on this podcast. So I want to know a little bit more about you and your schedule. So are you reserve or are you line holder? And what does that mean to the folks out there?
So now I'm actually reserve. So when reserve, you're on call all the time, and with our airline, I'm on call for 24 hours.
Yeah.
So I mean, I've been called at like 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning for early check-in,
Yeah.
and then that's the good thing about it. Like, you never know where you're going. That's the excitement of it, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
Like, you never know. They can be giving you like a trip to, like, Hong Kong, you can
Mm-hmm.
to like all these amazing exotic places, or you can just be going to Cleveland.
Yeah.
So that's the excitement of it. Never know where you're going. We're cruise scheduling because you were at the mercy of cruise
The
scheduling.
mercy of crew scheduling. So, can you explain what crew scheduling is to our listeners and viewers?
So cruise scheduling is actually it's the whole operation of people who work at the airline, and they're the ones who's actually built the trip. They're the one that actually schedule people, the
Mhm.
flight attendant, pilots, and how everything goes out. But yeah, that's pretty much it. They schedule the flights for everybody.
Mhm. It's incredible. I'm not sure how they choose who's gonna be doing what, but it's insane the amount of work and the complexity of just that in general, right? So, okay. So, can you explain the differences between a reserve and a line holder?
So when you first start in an airline, you're gonna be reserved, meaning you're just gonna be on call. You're on standby all the time.
What's standby
And
mean
once
though?
you standby is actually when there's two standbys. You can sit at home and wait for a scheduler to call you, or you can be at the airport, like what I was earlier.
Mm-hmm.
You just sit around, and if somebody misconnect or they don't show up or something happens, the flight still goes on, honey.
Yeah.
So they replace you, and then
Quick.
that's where the airport standby comes in.
Mm-hmm. And so for airport standby versus standby at home, how are they suggested? Do you have a choice, I guess, in that?
Mm, not really.
I was gonna say,
Yeah, you have to work those scheduling. You can
yeah,
preference it, but I mean,
yeah.
it's
It's
not
more so
guaranteed.
based on like seniority, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. And so, going back to the line holder versus reserve.
not reserved, so you're just sitting standby. And once you build seniority after a couple of years, or the base, depending on your base
Yes.
or airline and stuff like that's when you start you actually hold a line.
Mhm.
And as a line holder, you actually know when you're leaving, where you're going, pretty much, and you know what stuff to pack for your bags. Like you
Yeah.
can meal prep and bring food for
Yes.
your. So I
Yeah.
mean, life is better as a line holder.
Okay, and I understand that. So I guess for a line holder, you're able to trade. You have more control
Mhm.
basically over your schedule.
Yes,
Okay, love it. So next question: what keeps you flying?
the benefits, girl.
I
It
hear you. That
really is. I mean, that's what you don't make a lot of money as a flight attendant, I guess you can say.
I
I
would
mean,
disagree with that.
starting out, you don't make much.
Starting out, maybe
Yeah,
not.
but like
Yeah.
over time, I know flight attendants who make more than six figures flying.
Yes, and
Yeah,
that's what I was like. You can actually like your checks. I think, and that's maybe where we need to clarify. So starting out, you get a minimum salary, and it's hourly, of course. And you work a minimum um amount of hours per month. And then once you actually build seniority, like what you were saying as a line holder, your pay basically goes up. So for the airlines that have contracts or unions, you actually have like a set amount of money that you can make per year. And it depends. You might get multiple raises or one per year, however that works for your company. Um, but once you actually get a line, you can actually work as much or as little as you like. And some of these flight attendants are literally making over 100 grand because they work so much or they just know how to get these trips. You know what I mean? But yeah, I wouldn't say that you don't make a lot of money initially. I think it all depends on your situation because
mhm.
there's some people coming right out of college and they don't have a whole lot of debt. So to them, this works. And then you have other people who have like full on families and they're like, okay, it's going to take me a year or so to get used to this amount. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think depending, it could work out. So you said the benefits keep you flying. Can you explain a little bit more about that?
Girl, it's like going anywhere, like wherever you want to go. You can just hop on my off days. You can go wherever you want. As long as there's a seat, you'll get on.
Yes.
And
I
it's not
love that.
me. Like my family and friends, they can fly for free as well too.
Mhm. So how does are your family and friends on buddy passes?
Mhm.
Okay. So what's the difference between buddy passes and enrolled friends?
So in real friend, that person, they actually have a higher priority. They have the same priority as you
Yes.
based on like your higher date.
Mhm.
In airline, everything is seniority. Every
Everything is seniority.
depending on like like your pay, your trips, like even down to the position that you work on the plane. You can
Yes.
be in first class or you can be in coach. It all depends on seniority.
Do you have a preference, first class or coach?
Girl, you know me. I love my first class galley.
I love it. See, now I like to be purser. That is my thing.
You're
I
so
really
good.
uh, thank you. I really, really enjoy it. I don't know what it is. It's either going to be the aft galley or purser position. So I'm in the back of coach doing like the galley and the meals and drinks and things, or I'm at the front kind of running the show, which either or works for me, right? Okay. So next
We need you up
question.
there.
Huh?
We need you up there.
Oh, I appreciate you. And I will gladly thank you very much. I love it. I'm trying to get Debby to become an international purser. And for you all who don't know what an international purser is, it's basically the lead flight attendant or like the supervisory role for international flights. And I think she'll be fan freaking tastic at it, but she doesn't want to do it. So if you guys, or when you guys see this episode, put in the comments, Debby, become an international purser. I'm gonna work on it, y'all. I'm gonna work on it. All right. What were you about to say?
Nothing, just maybe the pay will entice me to become a purser one day.
As it should, because it is absolutely a bump up. That is for sure. All right. So next question: what is a change that you'd like to see within the aviation industry?
Change?
Mhm.
I mean, one thing I would like to see is actually better quality food that we serve on the plane.
Okay. Is that just based on now or pre-COVID as well?
Both. And like
Yeah.
I've flown on like those foreign carriers, Emirates, Etihad, Qatar, and oh my god, it's such good, like the food is good, the service is good.
Mhm.
And I feel like that's something like US carriers can actually work on.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree with that. I think we should get more taste testing.
Yes, the wine
I'm
tasting,
like,
the
I
taste.
see all these meals, and I'm like, I would love to taste that. That's the big girl inside me. Okay, she thrives, honey.
I mean, I'm not gonna turn down filet mignon.
Oh no, baby, no, I will not. Thank you very much. All right, so let's see. What is your most favorite and least favorite aspect about being a flight attendant?
I guess the least favorite, we'll start there. There is actually not getting paid for boarding.
Oh, talk to him. Yes, yes, yes. That
You
is just awful.
you could be working a 13-hour day, but you're actually only getting paid for 5 or 6 hours, and the
Yep.
rest of the day is for boarding, deplaning, and like you flight attendants, we don't get paid for that,
Yep.
and that's something a lot of people don't know about.
Mhm.
So I just there's actually a movement going on right now with like getting flight attendants for people to actually start paying us for boarding.
Yep. I agree. They should. 100%. Okay, so what's your most favorite? I'm assuming you're gonna say the benefits.
Uh,
I like that.
I can't really pinpoint one. I mean, I love going to work,
Mhm.
especially if you see like people I work with, like crews. I love
Yeah.
hanging out with them. Like I could be working a really bad trip,
Yeah.
but it's actually the crew. They make such a big difference on like how
1000%.
good the trip is gonna be.
Yeah, I would agree with that 100%. And that's kind of what I was talking about earlier. When you see somebody that's familiar to you or just being able to connect with your crew, it can make the worst trip one of the best just because you have that connection. You guys build a bond, you maybe hang out or whatever the case is. Yeah, I would agree with that 100%. Okay. And can you see yourself doing another career? I'm assuming yes, because you said you wanted to be an accountant. Is that right?
Yeah, but part time.
Part time. Only part time. Don't play with Debbie. I love it. I love it. Well, I want to say thank you so much for joining. I have one additional question. And so this is for anybody who is becoming a flight attendant starting out or someone who wants to be a flight attendant but hasn't started yet. Do you have any advice, any kind of points or anything that they can do or should do or what they should kind of get ready for?
I mean, the thing is, like, when you apply for all these airlines, what they're really looking for is actually to be genuine.
Yes.
They're looking for customer service. They're looking to make sure, are you going to be ambassador? Because you're going to be representing the company. They want somebody who's kind,
Hmm.
caring. You have to show sympathy, empathy, and all of the above. That's
Yeah,
what they're really looking for.
absolutely.
Don't go to those flight attendant training. Granted, I bet they're really nice, but like
Hmm.
that's not required.
No, you don't need that.
Save your money,
Hmm.
and then just go at it, be genuine, go out and meet people, and definitely do get some customer service experience. That's what they really want.
Absolutely.
And learn a language.
Yes, I need to do that. But yes, I agree. So what's your second language?
I speak Cantonese,
I love it.
but,
Really need to pick up a second language.
a little Spanish every here and now, but
Yeah, I can speak plain Spanish, and what I mean by plain Spanish is I can I can work Spanish on the plane, and as soon as we deplane, I'm like, okay, well, my Spanish has come to its term. Like that's all the Spanish I know. That's it. That's all I got. I love it.
it
Well,
comes
thank you. It does, right? I mean, there's things you just have to figure out as you're working. So, but I want to thank you so much. I want you to let the folks know where they can find you if you'd like them to find you on Instagram or whatever social media you have.
okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for having me. If you guys would like to follow me, my name on Instagram is Debbie Cakes.
How's it spelled?
DEBBYCAKES.
Perfect. Well, once again, thank you, Debbie. We love you. Thank you so much for coming on.
Wanna see the world, yeah.